I'm completely exhausted. The world is pitch dark and ambiguous. Unlike my audience, I cross its mind and it stops what it's doing for 2 or 3 minutes in awe of what it would undress were it granted one wish. I lie inside what it thinks of me, an expensively wrapped gift, wishing somebody would open me up and let us know if I'm really a famous young singer or little more than a gag. Or am I just a bomb? A shiny thing crammed with blood, guts, and bones, whose tiny word balloon reads, "Don't get close." I'm going to cry if I keep this up. Any minute now, there'll be a knock at my door. My dad will stumble in, bump his way through the furniture, kiss my forehead thinking I'm fast asleep, and say goodnight in a gin-soaked voice. Because my eyes will be closed, I'll imagine it's anyone. Everyone wishing me well. It'll distract me from my repetitive thoughts for a second. He'll sort of open his mouth and whisper something so gentle and thoughtless, I'll actually fall asleep lulled by that sound. That amazes me. Right now I can say it's a trick, but when he's here, I'll be inert. Until then, here's what I want. Love. Specifically, I want the power to make people love me. Maybe a secret word which I'd only use when I saw someone special. I'd walk up to him or her, say the word, and he or she would be very in love with me. Then if they ever got bored, there'd be another word that would cancel the spell, wipe their memories clear of me. I could be anywhere, and when I saw someone special, I'd walk up to him or her, say the word, and he or she would forget what they'd planned to do. If I said, "Come home with me," they'd follow. We'd be together right now, in this very bed. What could I offer them? Here's a list. Nervous, wealthy, at home, half asleep, cute, confused. That's as far as I can get. Oh, contrived, talkative. I guess those words also go in there. Now I'm supposed to take that puny list, stretch it out like a tight wire, and walk very slowly across, or something. I'll probably dream that I'm doing so if I can fall asleep. Then I'll wake up and see this bedroom again. The end. I like how in movies that phrase will just suddenly appear at a certain point. Most children worship a statue of some guy nailed up on a cross. I worship the end. It's a great concept. I'm talking in circles. That's not a clever ploy, really. Maybe somewhere in the back of my mind, I hope speaking like this might hypnotize the world, so I can slip away. But first of all, I'm just limited. No matter how I extend myself, I don't get closer to who I am, which I admit is my ultimate goal. I could look into a mirror all night or lie here, eyes shut, projecting my body all over the place, and I'd still wind up making things up until death has been slammed in my face. That's pretentious. I've been pretending my whole life. As a baby, I'd do anything for a pat on the head. As a boy, I would act out my father's appraisals, cute, darling, doll face, exquisite, as if they were simple commands, since those words were the only things I had to play with. In my early teens, boys and girls flocked around. When I asked them why, they give out long strings of adjectives. Ditto now, except my new friend. That nemesis is so vague, I can't understand what it says when he tries to dissect me. All I feel like I said is this fear, which I'm learning to live with. What other choices have I got? That guy, George, my parallel self or whatever? Next time I see him at school, I'll go over and try to be boyfriends. I realize I'm deluded, Sure, he's a new place to check my appearance, and maybe our slight resemblance has something to say for itself, but I'm sure if I got too close to the explorer bit, I'll find the same old stuff. Blood, guts, bones, not much else. I could pick through that mess for the rest of my days without any results, despite what my dad thinks. He also thinks beauty is useless fluff. He scribbled that in the steam on my mirror once, honest. I just heard the door open. Someone is walking unsteadily through the dark. It must be my father. In some ways, I wish it was anyone else, but I'm so wired. It seems like the only way I'll ever sleep is if he does what I've come to love. There's that word again. I shouldn't use words I don't understand. I should just let it happen. Footsteps. The banging around as he hits certain pieces of furniture, and now the smell of gin close to my face. He kisses me. His voice sounds half-hearted when he says goodnight, but there's no one else here, so it must be the truth and sincere or not. Does that make any sense? I'm going under. Before I do, here's a very last song, though I'm too tired to give it much gusto. It's about me, and I wrote it myself. I know that's like saying a mannequin's smile has a basis in thought, but here goes. Once upon a time, I was a little boy. I rode my bike constantly. I wandered everywhere, bought stuff, sang songs to myself. I stopped in a mall. This man came up to me. He was an A&R man for a big record company. He told me I was amazing. I said okay, and we went back to his house. He tried to fuck me. I bled all over the place. Then he showed me the door and said, "Thanks for being so well designed, kid." That was supposed to be funny. But I was in pain for a month. I'm sure he doesn't remember the incident still. I can't forget. Maybe his gaze is what's sifting through me at the moment. I know that's too anticlimactic. Anyway, it's a pretty good song, right? It seems to have sprung from a life that was long and productive, and with the same breath, it's quick-paced like mine. That's my guess. All it needs is a really spectacular ending, but I'm too exhausted to figure one out. The best I can do is relative truth. I lie here on my bed, tossing this way and that, in the stupid belief that sleep will straighten me out. But first I'll set the alarm.